Right. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen, Sonia?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Sebastian. We will begin in a couple of seconds.
Everyone.
So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 2022 kickoff event for CFA candidates. I am Sonia Alam, Event and Operation Manager for CFA Society France, and I hope you are all doing well. Before we begin, I would like to go over a few housekeeping rules for this session. All mics and webcams are turned off except for our speakers. Today's session will be led by Sebastian Proust, CFA, Chair of the Candidates Committee, and he will be joined by Sofia Benbada, CFA, and Zahif Boukamel from Wiley. You can take note, of course, during this webinar, but be aware that we will send you the presentation by email next week. We will have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation that you can access through the Q&A section below. And you will also be able to answer some surveys during this session. And one last point, make sure to stay until the end of the session, as we will choose randomly one of you for a special gift from our partner, Wiley. Without further ado, I leave the floor to Sebastian.
Wow, thanks for this teasing, Sonia. And I'm very glad to host this kickoff webinar for candidate this year. It's the first time for me. I was appointed candidate chair this year, so I'm very glad again to lead this candidate committee for this year. We have Sofia on board as well. We have Zahi from our partner Wiley. So I'm going to walk you through the agenda for today. There you go. Everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Fine. Right. Okay. So first, I'm going to introduce what is CFA Society France. It's an association, right? A French association, and it's important just to set the scene. Just to say a few words about this association. We'll talk about the CFA program overview, especially for our level 1 candidate. What will explain on what journey you are embarking. Then Sofia will give you some exam preparation tips and tricks. She passed the level 3 very recently. I think it was this year or last year, Sofia.
Yeah, it was on May. Earlier, okay. I had my departure on July.
Nice. So you have very fresh memories about your journey. Then we'll talk about what can we provide as part of your of a candidate membership for the CFA Society France. We'll give you some links to stay up to date with what's going on with our committee. And then we'll have Zahi from Wiley speaking about what services Wiley provide to candidate to help you pass the exams. We'll say a few words also about other companies that provide services to candidates on the market. And we'll close the session by a Q&A session. So feel free to ask your question in the chat. We have many people attending this webinar today, and we will answer at the end of the presentation. So what is CFA Society France? It's an association, Loi 1901. So it's a non-profit organization, and our mission is to serve our candidate members. We have about 3,500 candidates members each year, or members, so it's CFA Charter holder, and we have about 1,300 members. And also from this year, we have onboarded our ESG candidate members as part of the association, I would say. This association works with volunteers, and you know, if you are interested in joining the association and helping us, well, you know, you can drop us a note, and we'll be happy. We need help to make it work. We organize many events every year, so it's a great opportunities for networking, for learning new stuff, meeting people. We have 9 committees that led different topics, such as financial institutions, such as women in finance, for instance. We have universities with partnership with us that promote the CFA designation. And we organize research challenges every year. What is not CFA Society France? It's not the CFA Institute. We do not organize the exam. We candidate to pass the exam. We serve our members. We organize events. We organize networking opportunities, but we do not organize the exam. So usually when you have questions related to the exam organization, you should preferably reach out to the CFA Institute. When I talk about the exams, it's not only the CFA, but all the other certifications that are under the CFA Institute. So for the level 1 candidate, what is the CFA program? So it's 3 levels with about 300 hours of studies. So it's quite a long journey. And in order to get the CFA charter holder, so the right to use the CFA designation, you need, on top of passing the exams, to have at least 3 years of relevant experience. And then you can use these 3 letters after your names. Well, if you are a candidate, you should know what you will need to study. The only thing I will mention on this slide is don't forget about ethics. It's part of each level, and it's very often an important topic, which is on which the exams focus. So don't forget about the ethics. And then, you know, if you have questions about specific topic there, for instance, they will be able to potentially to answer. Don't forget to have the right calculator as well. So, you know, you have the BA2 plus and the HP12C. You can't use any other calculator. And from there, I will let Sophia talk about exam preparation tips. Again, Sophia passed the last level very recently, so everything is fresh for Sophia. And Sophia, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Sophia. We're going to start first by launching a quick survey to know more about you. I mean, which level and exam window. So if you can fill quickly the survey. Okay, I'm gonna leave like 10 seconds and then move on to the tips. All right, so let's move to the tips. First of all, like the first thing to have is, now we're gonna talk first about the tips that may increase your odds to succeed in the CFA exam, whether you are a CFA level 1 or 2 or 3. So you should have a study plan. I mean, a detailed study plan or retro planning until the exam date. This will help you increase the productivity as like you are outlining what you need to do every day, and that will help you exactly know what you need to do and when. And for sure, it requires a daily practice from now to the exam day. As far as I'm concerned, I would spend some time every day studying, say like 20 minutes or so practicing, writing out short answers on a computer, for instance, for the CFA level 3. There are different ways of going about doing this. And one is to use the flashcards, either your own or pre-made, for example, by a provider. With the question in the front and the answer in the back. You can also create an equation sheet with the most important or difficult equations to eventually start practicing writing them on a whiteboard or scratch paper. I would also stress on leading a healthy lifestyle, because I think it doesn't make sense to study like 12 hours a day and only getting like 20 or 30% of the material. It's not a good approach. So everyone here should be efficient, and when I say efficient, is to do the less effort and to gain the most knowledge possible. So try to have do some activities outside the CFA, like workouts, sleep, have a good amount of sleep, balanced nutrition. All of these are very important, like to success. You can also for the process, the preparation. There are like some end of chapter questions and blue box examples in the CFA curriculum, and always remember that the quality is more important than quantity. So try to focus also on weak areas, not only the areas you master. And dependent on each one of you. So maybe one is very familiar with derivatives, the other one with asset management. So try to focus on the areas you are not familiar with. And you should, I would recommend you to leave the last month for the mock exams, and do as many mock exams as possible. You can also use the help of the provider, because the CFA Society Friends provide a mock exam, I think 3 weeks before the exam date, but you can use other mock exams provided by the provider source. And you will encounter in some websites like the number of hours you should spend on each level. I wouldn't recommend to count the hours, because everyone is unique and everyone has its own needs to understand the concepts, like, for example, some concepts like derivatives, I don't know, corporate finance, that you are not familiar with, and you need more time to practice, more or less dependent on your experience, your knowledge, your position, etc. And you can also use the exam software simulation mode, because as you know, now we're using computer-based mode, so you can use the simulation many times before the exam. I would recommend, because it's very different from the paper exam. In the exam day, don't get stuck on the first part of the question. If you don't know the answer, move to the other parts and come back to it later, and that must avoid wasting time and added stress and unuseful stress on the exam day. Use also the time suggestions given in each question, because they have been carefully thought through. So don't spend too much time on questions like to appear like perfect person. Just give it the time it deserves and move on. And you should know also that most of the exam will be based on the core material, not obsess over trivial details at the expense of the big picture. Some outlier questions may appear, but they're not enough to cause you to fail. So do the best you can, and remember the grading is relative. I'm gonna give you some specific tips for the CFA level 3, still fresh on my mind, so I wanted to share them with you. Time management in the CFA level, especially in the CFA level 3, is very important, since it's constructed response questions or essay questions, and it's a key to passing. Just need to stick to the allotted time. Allotted time between the questions at the macro level, like the question, as you know, the CFA level 2 and 3 have the case studies, and each case may have like from 4 to 6 questions. You should pay attention to the marks between the question and the parts within the question, the subparts, and try to finish all the questions. A study partner, it's always a good idea, because trading responses and marking each other's is very valuable. Of course, objective feedback from your study partner is also very important, and a constructed feedback should also focus on effectiveness in conveying your thoughts, not just technical accuracy. So the ability to communicate your answer and your point of view in the writing is very important, not only knowing the curriculum and the formulas, the technical part. Efficiency. When I talk about efficiency, is that you should write short sentences and be direct and clear. Bullet points are also permitted. You don't have to write like essays like you used to do in school. Bullet points are help you to save time. No long rambling answers. It doesn't matter. You should know that there is no credit for a general display of knowledge, so you are tested solely on the CFA curriculum. Responses should not reflect your personal opinion or specific work experience. So stick to the curriculum, what is taught, and what the provider provide for you in your preparation. If you are asked in the question, if you are asked to provide 2 items, you should provide only 2, because extra items are ignored. So only the first 2 are considered. Always the first 2. So be careful and read the question carefully. I would also recommend to get familiar with the common words, because it indicates how much time to allocate to each question. For example, if we say state, identify, select, is not the same thing as explain, discuss. So it's obvious to spend more time in explaining, discussing in a question than just to stay identify, because they don't have as much marks as explain, discuss, etc. You should also try to review the official CFA acronym list. It's helpful and saves you time, because instead, for example, of in the essay writing, for example, chartered financial analyst, you can solely write CFA, and the grader can understand you, and it will be like clear and quick. In the exam day, you are not obliged to write down the formulas as well. So after the calculation, you can write down the formula directly with the inputs, and also it saves you time. What you should find is that after spending many hours, days and months doing so, by the time you take the exam, it should be second nature for you to come up with the answer in your head and type it into your computer. So finally, if you remember, if you put your mind on it and you work hard and smart as well, you will achieve anything you want. just remember that pain is the pain misery is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. So just stick to it until the end, and it will be finished as soon as possible. In the exam day, you can, if you live far from the test center, try to book a hotel or Airbnb next to the exam center. You will have less stress on the exam day. And I would also recommend you, I used to bring 2 calculators in the case one shut down. So I have one backup. And the last 2 days, try not to study. You can at least read the formulas, the quick sheet. Of course, you won't drink alcohol. You won't go to a party the day before your exam. That's very obvious. And develop a checklist for your IDs, your passport, your the food you would bring with you the exam day. And I wish you the best of luck. If you have any question, we will have a Q&A at the end, so we can discuss them later. I will leave
Thanks, Sophia.
You're welcome. You can continue.
I wish I had so many great tips when I passed it. You know, it almost make me want to do it again with so many great advice. And it's not that bad, right? It's also a good journey. I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
even it was sometimes a struggle. But okay, let's talk about what is next. The candidate membership. So today you are not yet charter holder, but soon, hopefully. But you can still join a community to help you study, to help you network. And we offer this candidate or affiliate membership for you that allows you to participate to all the events we organize, to access to a network of CFA charter holder, such as Sophia, and also that provides and organize workshops and provide study materials for you, including mock exam. You know, Sophia mentioned that it's very important during the last week of your study before each exam to do as many mock exams as possible. And if you are a member, a candidate member, we'll provide that free of charge for you. The cost of it is €80 per year, and it lasts 1 year from July to June. So if you here some exercise, some finance exercise, if you are not a candidate member, we charge between 30 to 80 euro, depending on the events or the mock exams we organize. But if you are a candidate member, especially the mock exams are free. So the return on investment is obvious here. You will have the link as part of the presentation. We'll share the presentation with you after this presentation, this webinar, and you will have the required link to enroll. You can also join us on LinkedIn. Again, there's a big family here, and you can meet with candidates and meet with us as well. So feel free to join us on LinkedIn as well. And now we have Dahi, special guest from Wiley. Dahi, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. Thank you so much also for the CFA Society team. Definitely, I'm delighted today to join the session. I mean, I will give a quick brief about Wiley, then about what kind of resources and packages that we can offer the students who are enrolled in the CFA exams, which does certainly help you to pass the exam. And I mean, the best thing about our platform, as Sophia just mentioned, you can develop your own exam planner, which can help you to really create the roadmap to pass the exam, which I'm going to explain in a minute. So Going back to Wiley, so Wiley, we are a publishers based out of the US, which are our headquarters. We have been into the market since 1807, which is almost 215 years. We had helped many students and professionals and organizations to develop the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in their career path. We deliver high quality content, learning solutions, and certification programs. CFA is one of them, but I mean, we have a huge portfolio as well of professional qualifications on top of the CFA, which are into business, finance, accounting. And we work with a lot of organizations all over the world. So CFA Institute Paris is one of our also partners that we also support. Certainly, we work also with other corporates in the Middle East, like ADNOC, Mubadala, and so on and so forth. Next slide, please. So, as I said, we have been almost over 200 years. We are $1.9 billion in annual revenue. 82% of our resources are delivered in digital as well as print. We have around 7,000 employees worldwide and around 40 plus offices. As I said, our HQ is in the US, and then we have offices in the UK, Dubai, India, Singapore. So this is the list of the portfolio of professional qualifications we provide. CFA is one of them, which is in finance, and then we have in accounting, CPA, CMA, as well as CIA. Next slide, please. So what is the highlights of our platform? So definitely the platform, once you access it, you're going to be having the access to the performance matrix and dashboards, which is an important tool which indicates your performance, how you are performing for each and every learning object, and what are the topics that you need to reread or to rework and to work on the questions. So this is an important element to our platform. Also, we do have bite-sized lessons, which is around 30 to 45 minutes. And the reason why they are short videos or short lessons is that because we believe that the shorter the lesson or the video is, the more information and techniques you can learn from that video. Also, we have customizable exam planner. So based on the exam date, you can build your own exam planner, which is going to give you like the number of hours needed that you need to spend every day to really pass the exam. As Sophia mentioned, I mean, you cannot spend 12 hours every day because you're gonna harm your health. However, you can build your exam planner according to your exam date, which you can put around 2 to 3 hours every day. This is during the weekdays, and then probably in weekends you can allocate 5 to 6 hours to really prep for the exam. And certainly, hopefully, to pass the exam from the first attempt. Also, you're going to have unlimited practice exams and more in the platform. Also, we partner with you until you pass the exam. So let's say you have sit for the exam and God forbid you failed, you can have the opportunity to extend your access and get the updated materials in digital format. We do deliver the materials in print and digital. We have also instructor mentoring with online support. Therefore, if you have any questions, you can directly message our subject matter experts and they should get back to you in 48 hours. Also, our platform include test bank questions and assessment, as well as the 11th hour course. So the 11th hour course is an important element because a week prior to your exam date, it's important to really work on the 11th hour review course, which you can go through a lot of readings as well as mock exams. Next slide, please. So the learning methodology that Wiley follows is plan, and here was you can build your exam planner and then study. So the study, you need to go over the reading, go over the videos. If you have acquired the gold course or the Wiley Platinum course, you're going to have the access to the Wiley virtual live classes, where you need to also attend after doing the readings as well as the test exams. And then After you do these two, you need also to go back and do the assessment questions. So the assessment questions could be done on your test bank, as well as the assessment questions after each and every lesson, and then definitely afterwards the mock exam. Next slide, please. So these are the list of different packages we have on our Wiley Efficient Learning. So we do have the Platinum, Gold, self-study course, as well as the 11th hour. And, you know, the Platinum course definitely includes, like, you know, the mock exams, final review, online mentoring, live online virtual classes, 90 hours of video lectures, as well as the exam planner and study guides. So there are the difference between the Gold as well as the Platinum. The Gold doesn't include the 11th hour or the online mentoring. The study guides doesn't include, like, you know, the video lectures, as well as the professional online and 11th hour. So certainly you can go deep into that once you have the presentations. But I mean, from my experience, been around 15 years in the professional qualification industry, whether you opt for Platinum, Gold, or self-study course, these are enough resources for you to really pass the exam. You don't need any additional resources to pass the exam. So the resources that we are providing as Wiley from a content perspective are the enough resources for you to pass the exam. Next slide, please. Maybe we can skip this slide, Sebastian. So here are my contact details. Please feel free to contact me. I'm available on emails, as well as this is my cell phone number. You can WhatsApp me in case you need more information. Definitely the CFA Society Institute France, they have special discounts. So you can visit the partner page that we have with CFA Society France. And I think, Sebastian, by end of this session, there will be a winner for Wiley 11th hour. So I'm looking forward to see who's going to be the winner.
Yeah, I've heard you have a gift for candidates. So thanks a lot, Dave, for that. And, you know, if I may add, it can be a bit hard to do the exams with the CFA Institute material by yourself. You know, it's quite tough. So get help. We have been working with Wiley for many years. You know, their services are great. Yeah, if you can, feel free to reach out and get some help from them, or also from the others. You know, there's not only Wiley on the market. Study, you know, all the providers, the prep providers materials. Wiley has definitely a very good offer. If you are in Paris, these two organizations, Top Finance and Finance Training, on top of what, you know, Wiley can provide, they provide on-site courses, on-site class. So if you want a professor to be on-site with you, it's possible. It's not the same budget, but, you know, these are also options available on the market. And with that, we can take few questions. I guess we are quite on time. So do we have some questions, Sonia?
Yes, we have some questions. People are writing down some questions. Thank you, Sophia. She already answered some of them. You can find in the answered tab some of the questions she already answered. So the first one is, hi everyone, in the CFA level 1, do the questions are randomly chosen during the first session and second session? Moreover, is the difficulty questions is the same for everyone? Is the difficulty the same for everyone? I think it's that, yeah.
Actually, the difficulty isn't mentioned. So you will have 2 sessions, the morning session and the afternoon session. And I think it's a 30 minutes break. And usually one of the exams is more difficult than the other, but the difficulty isn't mentioned. So like it's the questions you can start, for example, with a difficult question, like the first question is difficult and the last one is easier. So that's why I mentioned not just to stay too much too much time in the first question if you don't know the answer, so just move on. So I am not sure if I answered your question.
Thank you, Sophia. You want to add something?
Yeah, I have a second question, like for the spelling mistakes. Actually, the grader, you're not grade of your spelling mistakes. Actually, you shouldn't worry about that. If you the grader understands what you want to say, if it's correct, so you're not graded about the spelling errors. So don't worry about that. Next questions.
We have a question about the materials. So are we allowed to bring pens and pencils in? Do we still have draft papers like we had in the past? Sorry. So
I can take that one. Seems an easy one. At least in my days, 2 years ago, I did the CBT version for L3 as well. So they did provide paper to me, and yes, I brought my own pencil. There is a specific brand, brand and characteristics to that is allowed, but that experience. I don't know, Sophia, what's your feedback on that?
And like in the last exam, we didn't bring any pen nor paper, so everything is provided. You just have to have like your calculator, also only just your calculator. You can bring 2 calculators if you need, but only the calculator.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Sebastian. We have another question. I think it's for you, Sophia, about what approach did you take on crafting your own schedule? Like how many hours did you dedicate to the study? For how many for how long? Because there are so much windows, and I think we can be lost.
As I already mentioned, actually, I didn't count the hours. Like I would study until I got the point. I have never counted how many hours I spent on the 3 levels actually. So when I don't understand something, I would stay. I don't know. Like until I got the point, until I grade the good. So I'm not recommending you to count the hours. You can, for example, when I wake up early, I study the material, and then I go to work, and then even when I take the subway, I would take with me the notes and read them. Like for the ethics, I would bring them with me, read them during the ride, and then come back and redo like the revise in the evening. So that was my plan, but I was studying like every day. Like even 20-30 minutes a day it makes a difference. So just try to make your own schedule. You don't have to copy someone, like, because everyone here is unique and everyone has his own approach. I won't recommend to you a special approach, but just you have to be disciplined and stick to your schedule and to your study plan. I forgot to mention in the last question, you shouldn't bring jewelry as well. So if you bring jewels, it's forbidden in the exam day. So don't bring the jewelry.
Okay.
Like watches, you can bring your watch, or is it allowed or not?
No watch, no jewelry.
Okay. Nothing. Okay.
Nothing except your calculator. Your approved calculator. So
Yes, the Texas one. Thank you, Sophia.
well,
Sebastian, did you want to say something?
Yeah, maybe I'm going to take some questions after Sophia. So IBT Center, can you please suggest some hotels? I'm not aware of ABT Center. Maybe you can go on Booking or Google Maps, you know, look for an hotel nearby, good quality, and you should be fine. If we look at the next one, can we use Mon Compte Formation? So it's a French specific
No, you
thing.
can.
And you, alors, to buy for prep provider, double check with prep provider. At my time, it was not possible. But yeah, double check that.
Yeah, me too. It was not possible. I tried, but it wasn't funded. So
To register for the CFA exam, for sure, it's not possible yet. There is a project like doing that, but it's not ready yet. For prep provider, maybe again for us, Sophia and I, it was not possible, but double check with them. The groups, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, yes. Not WhatsApp, but LinkedIn definitely. And Sonia will share some links, right? For you to
Yes,
join.
it's the link that you will find in the presentation, of course, but it's CFA Society France Candidates that is in LinkedIn, and you can start conversation with other candidates, share your feedbacks, and yeah, join us on LinkedIn for sure. I will send you obviously all the links that you need.
there's a question in the regarding the watch, how we can monitor the time if we're not allowed to bring watches. Actually, in the computer-based format, in your screen, you have the remaining time. You have a watch in your screen, so you won't need any watch actually. So everything is there in the exam day. You will have a remaining time in your screen, so that won't be a problem for you actually. And for the keyboard, you can when you arrive, you can ask the person there to switch the AZERTY or QWERTY keyboard. That won't be a problem neither.
Yeah, maybe this option is not available for all test centers, Sophia. So double check with the test center before.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I think that's the good answer, because some test center doesn't have the AZERTY or the other, so check before. Okay. What kind of events does the CFA Society France organize?
So we organize a drinking event for tomorrow, for instance. So as part of this kickoff event, today it's a webinar. We present you with the association with some tips and tricks, and tomorrow there is this networking event. So it's in Paris. So that will be the first event. And then we organize events very often. Last year it was 35 events, such as the next one coming, Sonia, I think it's on ESG, right?
We have a big event on ESG this year, but we have also events on advocacy. When you are candidate members, you are invited in almost all events, whereas it's in Paris or online. It can be about biodiversity, or it can be about ESG, can be about wealth management. We have a big range of subjects. For example, I met some candidate members last year at the flagship insurance. There were like more than 100 people there, so they chat and they networked with the people in the industry, the insurance industry. So it was kind of interesting for them to come. So that kind of events, it can be big, small, it can be online, it can be in person, it depends. It's for everyone.
And as part of candidate membership, they will automatically receive the invitation, right, Sonia?
Yes, definitely. You will receive the invitation. If you are not part of the membership, you cannot attend, obviously. I think we can close this one, and I will take the other one. It's the event of tomorrow is free. Yes, it's free. It's in Paris. You just need to register yourself through the link in your email, and I hope we can see you tomorrow.
Maybe the one about ESG volunteering. So my point at the beginning of the presentation was to say that we are an association which works with volunteer. So the candidate committee is hiring volunteer. You know, we might need you for instance, for an event, right, to welcome people or such kind of things. But the other committees are also recruiting. So, you know, if you have some free time and some will, feel free to reach out, and for sure we'd need you.
Thank you. I will just come back to the CPF just to give an explanation on the subject. So it's not possible to use CPF either for the CFA Institute exam fee or for the prep provider in France because it's the CFA certificate is not included in the registre spécifique, so a special register, due to the fact that the French regulator makes it mandatory to provide a certificate for each level. When you have a level 1, you don't have a certificate, you just have an email, for example. But we are trying to do the CPF for the level 1. This is one of our big projects because it's the way the CFA exams are made. It's not really understandable for the French authorities because it's a 3-step. So for them, the level 1 is not enough as a certification. So we are working on it, and we hope that pretty soon we'll have a satisfactory answer to give you. Sorry, go back to the questions.
So most events are held in Paris. Yes, that's where most of our members are. You have also other society. If you are in Luxembourg, in Switzerland, in London, they have events there as well. But in France, it's mainly in Paris.
Okay.
Where's the place tomorrow evening, Sonia?
Yes, it's Le Boa, B-O-A. It's a bar in the center of Paris next to Montparnasse, for those who knows. And yes, you can check in the registration, maybe not on your email, it's not, but if you check when you try to register again, you will see the address. And if you have any more issues, don't hesitate to email me. We have one more question for Sophia. Thank you for sharing your experience and tips with level 3. Can you also give us some pointers for level 2, like what subjects to focus on? I think Sebastian, you can answer that too.
Level 2, actually level 2 was very technical, so I would focus on formulas, derivatives a lot, pricing, Black-Scholes, as far as I can remember. And level 3, it would be because it was a constructed response questions, so I focused a lot on this part. It was not easy because you have to be actually I talk a lot, so I write a lot, and that was not the best approach. I had to learn how to be precise, direct, and to stick to the point, like right to the point, and that was a challenge for me. So I would focus also on asset management, ethics, and GIPS. That these parts actually complete each other. So maybe when you get a case, you will have in the same case GIPS, asset management, and ethics. So I would revise them at the same time. For level 2, it was I focused on derivatives actually. And yes, IFRS and US gaps, I think, yeah, corporate's fine.
We have, of course, the same question for level 1.
Level 1, it's very general actually, so you should focus on everything.
You have your answer.
My feedback for level 1 and level 2, do many questions. So you have QBank available on this via the CFA website or via Wiley, for instance. Before the mock exams, before the full exams, you focus on questions, do as many questions as possible. These levels are more, technicals, and if you have answer to a specific question once, then you will be able to answer it again. So do as many questions as possible on these 2 levels.
Yeah, in the level 1 as well, pay attention to the words like which answer is less likely or the most likely. That changes everything actually. Least likely, more likely. So read carefully the question, because you may score bad if you don't read carefully the questions.
We have gonna take maybe 2 more questions.
Yeah, because we need to keep some time for the lucky draw.
Yay!
Valuation competition. Maybe you are referring to the research challenge, I guess. And the way it works is, well, basically, Sonia, do you want to take that question, the research challenge? Or
I don't know if it's the research challenge because we didn't mention that. But if you want to talk about it, it's a project from CFA Society France, and it's worldwide with teams in the in university that are working on a particular subject. This is a competition. If you want to know more, of course, email us, and we can maybe create a team in your university. That would be fine. But it's definitely not in the same thing that the candidates, not candidates for CFA particularly, that are doing the research challenge. It's candidates like in France in all the universities. But we can talk about it, of course.
We have a last question that we'll take from Elisa. How the CFA is graded? That's a good question, because we don't know exactly. What we know from experience is if you have 70% of good answers, you should be able to pass, right?
Yeah.
That's the overall feedback, but we don't know exactly how it works, and it's not hard threshold, right? If you have, again, 70% of good answers, you should be fine. Be careful with ethics. It is mentioned to be topics that is critical, essential. So if you are bad on ethics and just at the 70% threshold, you could be in trouble. That's all I can say. Sophia, you have more on that, maybe?
Actually, I join you on your point of view. The CFA, we don't know exactly how it works, but you should know that the CFA Institute do some statistical methods to calculate the passing score, and every year a percentage of candidates is selected, but if you score 70%, you have a great odds to succeed. 70% is perfect. So when you do the mocks, when you do the QBanks, try to score 70%. That your goal is at least 70%.
Yeah, and unfortunately, to answer to Eden's questions, you don't know the result right away. You need to wait 1 or 2 months, depending on the level you pass. For level 3, it's longer because, well, it's not a multiple choice question, so it takes longer for the CFA Institute to grade your answers. But yeah, you have to wait. Otherwise, it's not fun. But let's have some fun and maybe you know, something great for one of our lucky candidates to get some help to pass the exams. So Sonia, tell me how does it work? First, from an ethics perspective, please tell me that no one tried to bribe you for that.
I promise no one is trying to bribe me. But here is my IBAN if you want to send me something. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I just did a random number, and I know now the candidates. Please, everyone stay connected. Don't disconnect, because if you disconnect, you will not be able to be chosen. Can you pass the slide, please, Sebastian? And yeah. First of all, thank you very much for your questions and answers. And Zahi, could you please remind us what the prize is exactly?
Hey, so the student will be winning an 11th hour component, which it could be an excellent tool for him to revise, or her to revise a week or 10 days prior to the official exam.
Okay. Thank you, Zahi, for this precision. So without further ado, the winner is Bruna Souza. I hope I'm saying it well. So congratulations, Bruna, for your prize. Of course, we will get in touch by email with the email you registered to this event to give you your prize very soon.
Congratulations, Bruna.
Congrats, Bruna, and good luck in your exams.
Yes.
Yeah, and good luck to all. Thanks for attending today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You know, we are there for you. Definitely. If you have any questions, yeah, tomorrow or the days after, or even throughout the year, you can contact us through candidates@cfafrance.org. I hope you like this presentation, and it will help you studying and motivate you even more. And for those who are available in Paris, sorry, we hope to see you today, tomorrow for the candidate cocktail. Thank you to Sophia, thank you to Sebastian, thank you to Zahi for being here today, and thank you to all the participants to this webinar. I wish you a sweet evening, and I hope to see you around soon.
Thank you so much. Good luck, everyone.
Luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye.